Hello, pony fans, because I'm assuming that's what you are, because this is a video about My Little Pony, so if you're not a pony fan, then just hey, person that wants to know my thoughts, I guess, you're gonna get to. I'm gonna be talking about Generation 5 today because I want to, and I just finished the new season, and I just wanted to talk about it just because I just wanted to talk about it. I'm not gonna be comparing it to the old Generation 4, I'm not going to be comparing it because I don't think it's fair to compare it, because if I compare it, then it's just not going to beat it. I personally don't think it's going to beat it in any section. So, I'm not comparing it, I'm just going to talk about it and my own personal thoughts about it. So, I have my little list of the stuff I want to talk about. So, I'm just going to start. 1. Music. So, the music in the new generation of My Little Pony, in my opinion, I think it's honestly kind of like a hit or miss. Like, there's not very many in-between songs where you're like, oh, this one's okay, but it's not really that good. You know, it's either like, this one's good, or this one's bad. There's some songs I really, really like, but, so this one came from, like, the little cartoon, not the 3D one, but, like, the little cartoon one. And it's like Monster Party that they sing for like Halloween or whatever in the little like YouTube shorts.
The place is haunted, but the dancing's a delight. It may look scary, but don't be afraid, 'cause nothing's what it seems at a monster party.
I really like that one. That's like really good in my opinion. And then in this newest season, there's a really bad song that the villain sings. And literally the lyrics are like, I'm the villain.
I'm giving you the heat you can't handle, and I don't care. I'm a villain! I'm a villain!
Like, okay. There's, so that's what, the music is like either good or bad. I don't think there's much in between for the music there. I think there's definitely room for improvement in the music that they have this new generation. Like, I don't know, most of the music in the movie, like the new generation movie, was good. Honestly, I can't remember too many of the songs right now because like they're just not that memorable, most of them sound kind of generic. But one that I do like is like the little, again, Monster Party song. That one's a good one. I liked like Gonna Be My Day in the movie. That's a good one. Gonna be.
Gonna be my day.
My day. I like that one. That one's catchy. I like that one. And the rest of the songs are somewhat lackluster, I'll be honest. They don't really have a lot to them. I don't know. They're just not. I mean, they definitely aren't. The songs aren't hitting that well, honestly. Most of them don't. Some of them are like, yeah, this is good. And some of them are just like, okay, maybe let's not sing this time. Okay. Section 2. The visuals. The visuals in the movie, the first movie, like the new generation movie, those were good. Those were great visuals. I love those visuals. They were like, it was good animation. The character models were pretty good. They're like, they looked great. They moved fluently. It was good. Obviously the budget is higher for like a movie than the rest of the show. The 3D show, I kind of have my gripes with some of the visuals in the 3D show. Okay, they're kind of ugly sometimes. Sometimes they're okay, sometimes they're ugly, and I just don't. It's a weird mix sometimes. It's weird. It's like, okay. Sometimes you see like their lips and they're like pink, and it's like, that's weird. Ponies have pink lips. And it's just like, I don't know. The visuals can be kind of creepy sometimes. Like, they look really like smoothed out sometimes. Like that weird, smooth 3D animation look, you know what I'm talking about? I don't know, they look shiny, if you know what I'm talking about. So the show, like the 3D show, is kind of like, you know what I'm saying? I think you guys know what I'm saying. The 2D, the little 2D little shorts, they're cute. I think Hitch's head shape is really weird. Like you just got the square head. I think that's really weird looking. Most of the other ponies look okay. I do like how they're adding like different body types in the ponies. You know, I mean, there's not that many difference in the 3D, but they definitely have a lot of different body types in the 2D, and I like that. I like the different heights we get to see there, and like all the different shapes they get. I like that in the 2D. Personally, I think the 2D animated show is better than the 3D series, but the best visuals they've had overall is definitely in the first movie they came out with. The first movie they came out with was like, whoa, that's really cool visuals, you know? Speaking with the visuals, because we're on visuals, the backgrounds for the 3D shows can sometimes be the ugliest thing in the world. The Bright House looks so saturated and like so like like a mix of color. Like I don't know what they were thinking with the Bright House in the 3D show, because it looks good in the 2D show. It looks fine in the 2D show, but in the 3D show it's like, this is the ugliest thing I've ever seen type thing. Sometimes the backgrounds it's like they put all the effort into the character models, but even all that character model effort is bad. And then the backgrounds look horrid. Absolutely horrid. So, there you go on the visuals. 2D show is better than 3D show visual-wise, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. The plot. It's there. I don't know where it's going. And it just feels kind of like, okay. It feels like they just don't know the direction they want to go with the plot. It's like, okay, we have our plot. We have like where the plot begins. We don't know where the plot's going to end. So we'll just make it up as we go. And it's like, okay, so you don't even know what the plot is either. That's kind of what the plot feels like sometimes, like especially with like the Opaline plot. It's like, I want all the Cutie Mark magic, and I want all this magic. You know, it's like she wants the magic to rule over all the ponies type thing. But it's just kind of like, I don't know. The plot feels so like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, a lot of things in the plot don't make any sense, like how the Unity crystals will fall apart if like 2 ponies are fighting, but it's like, how are you supposed to keep every single pony to get along all the time, 24/7? Like, that's just unrealistic type thing. You know, I don't know. It's like the plot has a lot of holes and a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense to me. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't thought through this point like a whole lot, but I've thought about it through a little bit. Okay, if I was to do a deeper dive into the plot, I could probably be more like, here's all the things that was wrong with it, but I just know there's a lot of holes. And it's kind of weird. And especially since they want this plot to be concise with like all the past plots from the older generation, because they're trying to claim that they take place in the same universe, it just doesn't work. And it's not working. It's not working. Okay? The plots are not connecting, and it is not making sense. Especially since it looks like they're like, it looks like other creatures other than ponies have cutie marks as well, which is a thing that also is not connecting with the past that they're claiming that they have. You know, the plot's all over the place. Moving on to characters. Alright, characters. I quite like most of the characters. I think they're good, most of them. I like their character interactions, especially. Like, I like how all the ponies interact with each other, like the main cast and stuff, and I like how the main cast interacts with other ponies. I like the interactions between the characters, and I like the personalities of most of the characters. Some of the characters kind of have, like, flat personalities, and some of the characters, they didn't flesh out well enough, I don't think. Like, Opaline. They didn't do great on Opaline, okay? Like, her whole thing doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, her backstory doesn't make any sense. Her drive doesn't really make any sense. A lot of Opaline doesn't make any sense to me, guys. I don't get her. And her character is kind of, like, flat. She's evil. That's all she cares about, I guess, is being evil. You know, they don't really give her a reason to be evil other than she's evil. It's like her whole reason. I mean, I guess they tried to, but it doesn't hit, you know. But I like most of the other characters. Sorry. I think one of the characters with the most, like, what's the word I'm looking for? The most backstory and the most, like, attention to her probably would be Misty. I think she has, like, the most, you know, because she was, like, with Opaline. She has the most development, and she has the most, like, plot put into her, and she has the most, like, story put into her. You know, Sunny has a little bit of that, because, like, her dad died, I guess, and, like, she has a little bit of a backstory of being, like, I'm a believer in hope, and I'm a believer that every pony can come together, you know, type thing. She has a little bit of that. And then kind of the rest of the main cast are kind of, like, a little lacking in, like, backstory and in, like, drive for their character. Sunny and Misty have the most, like, stuff put into them, and the rest of them kind of, they don't really dive into that, which I guess is, like, okay, but I like most of the character interactions. I like how they interact with each other. And, you know, a lot of times when I was watching the show, a lot of the times when they were interacting with each other, I was like, oh, that's cute. Because, you know, they have fun together, and I think it's cute how the characters interact and stuff. Now we're going to move on to world structure / like, world building. I don't think they did that great on the world building. It's kind of all over the place. Like, again, back to what I said earlier, they want to connect it, so the creators of the Generation 5 claim that it takes place in the same universe as Generation 4. You know, they want it to connect. But the world building doesn't make sense with that, in my opinion. Like, the way that they're laying out the world and the way that, like, weather does its own thing now, I guess, and, like, the Everfree Forest didn't take over, and, like, the Bridalwood place, and, like, it's just, like, I feel like there's a bunch of new places that randomly appeared, which I guess you could say erosion happened, which, you know, erosion does happen, I guess. But then there's also a bunch of places that just totally forgot about and aren't there. Like, the Dragonlands? That's where the dragons lived in the past, I guess, but now they live on the Isles of Scaly, and it's, like, green and stuff, and it's, like, they have plants, but, like, the Dragonlands was, like, a lava pit? Well, I don't know. It's, like, what happened to the Dragonlands? Why are they on the Isle of Scalies? And, like, where did, like, Zephyr Heights come from? Is it just, like, some mountain out there? What happened to the Crystal Empire type thing? There's a lot of world building stuff, and they're not really, they don't address the links to the past very much, I don't think, and they're, you know, they claim it takes place in the same universe, but they're not connecting anything, and I don't think they're going to try to, which is weird, because I think they should at least try to. I don't know. The world building doesn't make a lot of sense. The settings, they kind of just have, like, the main settings, and then they do explore other places. And I do like the exploring of new places and the going of new places. They have, like, dimensions and stuff in this. And I don't know. It's definitely different, and it definitely doesn't feel like it takes place in the same universe as the old one, which is why me personally, I pretend it takes place in a similar but different universe, because I can't connect all the dots, and I don't think they're going to try to connect all the dots for us. I mean, they might, but I don't think they'll connect it well, so that's what I'm pretending. I don't know. Again, the world building's kind of off. It just doesn't feel very solid, so. Overall, I'd say the Generation 5 of My Little Pony, I think I'd give it like maybe a 6 or like a 5.5 out of 10. It has its good bits. It has like parts that I enjoy, but a lot of it kind of tears itself down in a way. It tears itself down in some ways. Like, again, with some of the music that just doesn't hit, and it's just like, ugh. And then some of the world building and the confusing plot points. It somewhat tears itself down. I mostly watch it for the character interactions because I love the characters and I love how cute they are when they interact with each other. And they're also silly, so I think the character interactions are good. And if you like character stuff, then like, and if you like, how characters interact with each other, then I'd watch it. If you like character stuff, like deep backstories and like deep, like, stuff like that, then maybe don't watch it. Because, I mean, again, Sunny has like a little bit of a backstory, and Misty has like kind of the most backstory. But even then, they're not like the greatest backstories on Earth, okay? They're not like the greatest like characters things ever. So, if that's the kind of thing you're into, then maybe I would suggest the show. But if you just like seeing characters interact in a fun way, and if you like just exploring new places without like thinking about it too much, and if you can get the only way that I really enjoy the show is when I pretend that it's in a similar but different universe, because if I try to pretend that it's in the same universe as the old generation, I get mad. So I just have to be like, it's in a similar but different universe, and then I'm like, okay, it's all okay. So if you want to watch the show and you've been thinking like, is it actually worth it, is it whatever, I'd say I like the 2D one better than the 3D one. Just because the 2D one has more of that character interaction, it's quicker, and most of the songs are better in the 2D one, actually, in my opinion. I have seen, like, all the 3D one, and the 3D one's just kind of what I put on when I'm, like, drawing and I don't want to pay attention or think about things too much. I think it has enough, like, things happening to, like, hold your attention and to be like, oh, something new, So if you're in for, like, just something new, and if you're just like, I want something new happening all the time, then maybe watch the 3D one, because it does feel like something new is happening all the time. So, that's what I personally say. It's not the greatest show ever, but there are worse shows. So, you do what you want with this information. Watch it, don't watch it. You do you. Have a good day. And thank you for watching this video. Smiles.